Ever wonder how big China's IP licensing scene really is, and how fast it's blowing up? Over the past few episodes, we've walked the entire floor of both ChinaJoy and Licensing Expo Shanghai, breaking down real consumer trends we spotted live on site. Today, we're pairing hard ChinaJoy consumer data with the B2B insider insights we picked up at LEC. We're walking through actionable, no-nonsense strategies for global brand owners, manufacturers, and licensing buyers. I'll show you exactly which IP categories consistently print money in China, and how you should pick IP partners based on real audience demand, your budget, and long-term market risk. First, let's quickly clarify these two shows. A lot of people mix them up, but they serve totally different roles in the industry. ChinaJoy is 100% consumer-driven, and we have the official 2026 numbers to prove it. After wrapping its 23rd run this August in Shanghai, the show hit brand new record highs. Over 4 days, it pulled in 438,900 on-site visitors, up 6.97% year-over-year. And here's the part that matters most for licensing. 65% of the crowd is 18 to 29 years old. Pure Gen's core consumers, plus 63% of attendees traveled from outside Shanghai. Scale-wise, it covered over 140,000 square meters, hosting 900-plus companies from 35 countries and regions. It's not just casual fans either. Professional visitors hit 44,245, with 21% coming from overseas. So what does that mean? At ChinaJoy, you're not seeing casual fandom. You're seeing high-intent buyers shopping for games, figures, collectibles, tech gadgets, and trendy lifestyle merch. LEC's the complete opposite pure B2B de-alpha-cused. ChinaJoy gives you the crowd and real consumer signals. LEC is where all the actual deals happen. IP owners, agents, and manufacturers all gather here to lock in formal, long-term business contracts. These two shows work perfectly as a team. LEC brings all the global IP opportunities to the table, and ChinaJoy tells you which ones regular Chinese consumers actually want to buy. So putting them together? That's the cheat code. ChinaJoy shows you consumer demand. LEC shows you how to source the right IP to capitalize on that demand. Combine both datasets and you eliminate almost all blind, risky IP investments. Big picture though, China's IP licensing space is already a billion-plus market, and it's still growing year after year. Game IPs, anime characters, collectibles, and digital lifestyle goods make up a massive, fast-growing segment. For any overseas brand trying to enter or scale in China, this market is packed with untapped potential. Honestly, if you're licensing IP for China, skipping consumer trend research is a critical mistake. You never want to sign a deal without knowing what the audience actually wants right now. LEC is officially Asia's largest professional IP licensing expo. It spans 53,000 square meters, hosts 420-plus global exhibitors, and features over 2,000 verified IPs. This isn't a fan meetup. It's the main B2B hub for global brands looking to break into the Chinese licensing market. LEC hosts official delegations from Japan, Korea, Europe, and Southeast Asia. And each region brings a totally different style of IP you need to know. Here's the simple version. Japanese IPs are premium, long-running, and tightly controlled. Perfect for high-end collectible lines that need stable brand value. Korean IPs thrive on social media hype. They're ideal for quick crossover collabs on beauty, apparel, and fast-moving goods. European and American IPs are classic, cross-generation franchises. They're the safest pick for mass-market everyday products. Japanese IPs focus on premium, stable collectible lines. Korean IPs are perfect for trendy, fast-turn crossover collaborations. Meanwhile, US and European IPs bring reliable mass-market appeal for everyday consumer products. LEC is nothing like regular fan expos. It offers standardized B2B services, official IP authorization checks, formal contract structures, and cross-border business matching. Every conversation here is for scalable, long-term deals, not just casual networking. Alright, let's move on and break down the core IP categories you'll find at LEC, each with totally different risk and cost profiles. Let's start with the first major IP category we saw everywhere at LEC: global, well-established international IPs. Classic movie, anime, and game franchises still dominate LEC's floor. These IPs have decades of legacy recognition. Everybody knows them, young and old. That means way lower market risk for your products. But there's a clear trade-off. FEs, minimum guarantees, and brand control rules are way stricter and more expensive. For small and mid-sized manufacturers, that barrier is pretty high. You've got to run the numbers carefully to make sure your sales can justify the licensing cost. Next up, mature, well-known domestic Chinese IPs. We're talking classic national animation, long-running local game franchises, and iconic cultural IPs that have stood the test of time. They've built incredibly loyal, stable fan communities across China. And compared to global top-tier IPs, their licensing terms are way more flexible and budget-friendly. These local IPs have proven sales history, active fan engagement, and fully built-out derivative product ecosystems already in place. So if your core audience is Chinese consumers, these IPs strike the perfect balance between cost and risk. They also connect way deeper with local culture than most foreign IPs ever could. Now, the hottest trend at this year's LEC: fresh, rising domestic IPs from independent designers and small creative studios. There's tons of original, eye-catching character work here. On the surface, they look like amazing deals. Upfront licensing costs are low, which is perfect if you're testing new product lines on a tighter budget. But let's keep it real, there's a huge catch. A lot of these viral IPs blow up overnight on social media, but the hype fades just as fast. Take Labubu, for example. It was absolutely everywhere at one point, a full-on cultural wave. But over time, the hype died down, and market demand settled back to a normal, stable baseline. Most of these short-term viral IPs don't have long-term content support, solid world building, or consistent team operation. Lock into a multi-year deal based only on internet hype. You'll likely watch consumer interest drop sharply within 12 to 24 months. Beyond these three main categories, there are two super underrated niche IP tracks popping off at LEC this year, perfect for overseas buyers looking for unique opportunities. First up, Chinese cultural and museum-style IPs. These come with official cultural backing and policy support. Audience goodwill is incredibly high, and they carry basically zero controversy risk. They're more cost-effective than top global IPs and way more stable than viral short-term characters. They fit perfectly for merch, home goods, apparel, and beauty lines, a true long-term blue ocean play for steady revenue. Second, emotion and pet-focused healing IPs. Gen's shoppers aren't just chasing cool game and anime IPs anymore. These days, they buy products that give them comfort and positive vibes. Soft, cute pet and healing characters have insane repurchase rates and stable fan loyalty. They're perfect for small batch testing on daily goods, maternal and infant items, and lifestyle merch, ideal for SMBs testing the China market. Also, we saw a massive jump in AI-generated original IPs this year. AIGC IPs have the lowest entry barriers, super fast iteration speeds, and fully customizable designs. They're amazing for limited edition seasonal drops and short-term marketing collabs. That said, watch out for heavy market homogenization. Always check the team's original design ability and update consistency before you sign anything. With all those IP types covered, let's switch gears and talk about how you can actually make smart, data-backed IP decisions instead of betting on blind hype. So how do you avoid all these common IP investment pitfalls? Let's tie everything back to the hard consumer data we collected at ChinaJoy. Most ChinaJoy attendees are Gens 18 to 29 years old, the core spending demographic for trendy consumer goods. Their go-to buys: game peripherals, anime figures, collectibles, tech accessories, and lifestyle trend items. This data tells you exactly which IP niches have consistent, long-lasting market demand, no guesswork needed. Here's the thing, for B2B buyers, there's no universal best IP. Your pick always depends on your goals and your budget. If you've got solid budget and want to minimize risk, Go with proven international or mature domestic IPs. They deliver stable, predictable returns. If you're running small batch tests and want to keep upfront costs low, emerging original IPs are worth a shot. But you've got to dig deeper than on-site hype. Check long-term social trends, past product sales data, and whether the studio can consistently drop new content over time. And I want to share a game-changing trend from LEC's official industry report. It lines up perfectly with everything we saw at ChinaJoy. China's IP market is shifting hard. It used to be all hype-driven impulse buys. Now, it's all about repeat, value-based purchases. People buy once because an IP is viral, but they stick around and repurchase if the IP has solid world building, constant content updates, and an active community. So honestly, long-term operation beats short-term hype every single time. That's the golden rule for sustainable IP investing in China. Also, let's talk about the biggest mistake new buyers make: mismatching IP style with your product category. A viral internet IP might crush it for toys and collectibles, but flop hard for home goods or formal daily products. Never pick an IP just because it's trending. Always match the IP's audience vibe and usage scenarios to your product line, or you're setting yourself up for losses. When you're talking to IP agents and rights holders at LEC or similar expos, come prepared. Before you even ask about pricing or minimum guarantees, lock down your product type, sales regions, contract length, and production scale. Clear specs upfront make negotiations way smoother and faster. Always compare multiple IP options. Don't lock into an exclusive long-term deal just because the expo atmosphere feels exciting. Smarter play, test first, commit later. Run small, short-term trial collaborations to test market response. If the numbers hold steady, then lock in a long-term strategic partnership. That's how you control your downside in this market. That covers all the practical strategies and risk control tips for your next IP licensing deal. Alright, that wraps up our 4-part Expo series covering ChinaJoy and Licensing Expo Shanghai. We've toured the full show floors, broken down on-site trends, and unpacked the real business logic behind China's IP licensing industry. Hopefully, this series gives you a crystal clear view of the massive opportunities in this fast-growing market. If you want me to deep dive any specific IP brand, creative studio, or licensing agency, drop a comment below. I'll prioritize visiting those booths and digging up more exclusive industry insights for my next videos.